Hey there, I am back with another deck review, and today we're going to be looking at the Conjuring from 52Ravens. 52Ravens is the work of designer Kirk Slater, who's known for his decks that go after themes of the occult and witchcraft, really dark and kind of atmospheric decks. You may remember the Sisterhood of Blood decks, fantastic pair of decks, as well as the one that's the spiritual predecessor, no pun intended, to the Conjuring with the Coven. This is one I was excited to get a hold of. It's a really hard deck to find for whatever reason, but it was offered as an extra on the Kickstarter campaign for the Conjuring, so I finally got a hold of one. But while the Conjuring is a little bit of a follow-up and was inspired by the artwork in the Coven, it definitely took on its own unique style and feel and became almost a standalone deck of its own. So really excited to get into this one. I love Kirk's artwork and couldn't wait to see what he was able to put together for the Conjuring. So let's get right into it. All right, tuck case is done on a regular glossy finish tuck. 52Ravens tends not to use upgraded materials or processes for their tuck cases. So while I would have really liked this done in a matte finish with some embossing or something, still he definitely prefers to let his artwork speak for itself on a simpler tuck case. And the artwork on this is fantastic. You just have the name of the deck, the Conjuring in the center, tons of symbols kind of fit for a witch's ritual surrounding it in the background. You get the star symbol, lots of little runes and symbols. You have alchemical symbols, even some zodiac symbols there in the center, and then some scrawled words here, ignis, amore, and caele, which mean in Latin, fire, love, and heaven. Beautiful look to it overall. I love the addition of the blood spatters in the corner. Just kind of gives it that extra feel and creepy vibe to it overall. On the sides just says The Conjuring on both sides, more of those blood spatters. The bottom here has your ad copy for 52Ravens and USPCC who printed the deck. Top, just a few more symbols. You can see those moon symbols there. And the back is a look at the back design of the cards. We'll look more at those details in a second. Finishes out with that postage stamp style seal, done in the style of like a piece of parchment with writing on it, and then with the 52Ravens logo on top. Inner flap, get another little pentagram symbol there with a skull in the middle. Little blood spatters extend up onto the inner flaps as well. And some nice interior printing just to kind of keep the colors, that darker color scheme going, that red and black. This is more of a zoomed in view of part of that symbol from the front of the tuck case. But like that he covered up the standard white tuck case with a little bit of interior printing. This kind of keeps the theme going. All right, so there's the tuck case, but let's check out the cards. We'll start with the back design. All right, so the back design, really, really nice. A lot going on here, lots of intricate details. Definitely in keeping with the style of the tuck case, all done in black and red. That main element is that star symbol in the middle, and it's littered with all kinds of symbols. Again, the alchemical symbols, the zodiac symbols. You even have little pips here in the center as well. Lots going on, lots to pick up on. You even get the Latin words scrawled around the edges. Just so much going on. Again, going with those blood spatters around the edge. Completely borderless back design. Just kind of gets you completely lost in all of those symbols. Really beautiful look to it overall. Like what he did on the back design. Just definitely really fitting for the theme overall. The faces of the cards are also done in that same color scheme. And this gets to one of the things that I think is something you'll see a lot in this deck, and that is it's not the most usable deck in the world. I mean, in this case, it's kind of hard to distinguish between the style of the faces and the backs. Usually it's a little bit easier to pick out the back design of the cards, but you kind of have this moment where you have to think for a second, like, am I looking at the back or the face of the card? So not the most usable deck in the world, but still some really beautiful artwork on these. All right, so going to the Jokers. So this is a little bit of a hallmark of many of the 52Ravens decks, and that's the Raven Diptych Joker. Love this touch. He's done it on several of his other decks. This one definitely done in a style in keeping with the theme of the Conjuring with that black and red and the scrawl of symbols, but you can make out that large raven silhouette there. Really beautiful. Conjuring at the bottom and Joker in the top. And again, kind of littered with more blood spatters throughout. So love a good diptych Joker, and I think 52Ravens just sort of hit on a really nice design to use for all of their decks. You also get a double backer. Interesting, because I don't see this necessarily as a Magic deck, but you do get a double backer. And we'll talk about the fourth extra card in a second, but let's start out by going through the aces in the deck. So all 4 aces are kind of equal in that there's no one power ace. The 2 black aces definitely have more of an outline feel to them overall, the red design against the black, but not filled in at all, which kind of gives you a little bit harder to read pip overall. But as you dive into the design, really nicely done again. Large pip in the center, kind of decorated with a few different runes, that star pattern in the back, blood spatters all around. Just a really nice look to them. The pip and index in the corner are also done in that outline style. You can see the pip and then the outline index there in the corner, and then a little crystal dangling from the top. The red cards definitely amp up the contrast a little bit more, going with the more filled in red, which really pops against that black. So while the black cards I think are a little bit harder to read, I prefer the red cards and that contrast that he gets on there, both in the main pip and then the one in the corner as well. So lots of beautiful design elements on these. Number cards kind of follow the same pattern in that the black cards are more outline style, a little bit harder to read, definitely with everything going on here. Kind of gets a little bit lost, but the design itself definitely kind of keeps you in the atmosphere of the deck. That's the part that I really like about this one. Love the custom arrangement of the pips. One of my favorite little elements on this one. The arrangement of the pips kind of working with that watermark star design in the background. And kind of arranging in a circle around the star as you expand out. Diamonds, so the red cards definitely have, again, a good bit more contrast to them. And then kind of going in that same arrangement all the way around. And then clubs back to the more the outline feel. And then finally the hearts. One other element I will talk about with the faces of these cards is there's a little bit of an animated effect on these, both in this little crystal in the corner as well as in that moon in the corner as well. If I'll zoom in here and I'll see if you can pick this up. So keep your eye on the moon right there, and you'll see as we go through, kind of has an animated effect as you flip through the deck. And at the same time, that crystal, a little bit harder to see, but keep your eye on the crystal right here, and you'll see kind of it spins around as you flip through the deck. Really cool extra little effect. Nothing that's so distracting that it would hurt the usefulness of the cards in any way, but a cool little extra to add to the deck overall. So like that addition, but let's get into the core cards. And this is really the creepiest aspect of any of Kirk Slater's designs. He does some really just striking, mysterious, and quite beautiful court cards overall. All female court cards, kind of keeping with that witchcraft theme. And definitely much younger characters. So focusing on younger witches overall. And they're all just really beautifully illustrated. All in different poses. You can almost imagine stories or even personalities around each one of them. And they all just have this really unsettling and creepy look to them. You know, it's like starting with the Jack of Spades here. You can see one with their back turned, that beautiful tattoo on her back, holding a tarot card there in her hands. Others of them, so like you've got a crystal ball there in the hands of the Queen of Spades, or the King of Spades with the spell book there in her hands. And what really stands out on these are the ones where you can see the eyes. Those eyes done in that really stark white, just piercing stares on these. Amazing how just a simple tiny hit of white will stand out just that much on the cards. But all these really beautifully done. My only one small complaint on these, I wish he hadn't done quite so harsh of a transition here in the corner and instead let the designs kind of flow into one another. He kind of prefers a much harsher line there in the center, which I think is a little bit distracting. But I love the different personalities you get. There's one with a blindfold and 2 black cats on her shoulders. There's your Jack of Clubs with that totem in her hands. That's a particularly creepy one with the Queen of Clubs. And then there's your King of Clubs. And then the 3 best ones in my mind are going to be in the hearts. There's your Jack of Hearts. I love that axe kind of slung over her shoulder there. The Queen of Hearts, those pupilless eyes, just really creepy. And then the human heart in her hands. That's a really creepy one. And the King of Hearts with the slit throat there, kind of an homage to the suicidal king. And the hand over her throat, that's a really kind of unsettling one overall. And then you do get 1 extra core card. This is the last of the extra cards in the deck. It's an extra Queen of Hearts. As you can see from the other Queen of Hearts, completely different style, so not a duplicate Queen of Hearts or anything like that, just an extra one that you could swap out if you want. And this Queen of Hearts even includes a little card reveal there with the 7 of Diamonds. So nice last little extra card to get in the deck. Overall, beautiful deck. Love the artwork. Just so many intricate details to pour over. Thoughts on the deck overall? You know, it's absolutely, without a doubt, an art deck above anything else. It's not a terribly functional deck at all. The differences between the backs and the faces, it's a little bit too busy to definitely want to use for like gameplay or something like that. I mean, I suppose you could use it for gameplay, but it's harder to read, harder to distinguish faces and backs, and I think a lot of that really detracts from its usefulness as a deck. But as a piece of art, it is fantastic. It is so thorough in carrying the theme through the deck. The artwork is beautiful. The artwork's intricate. Just so much to like on this one. So to me, worth picking up as a collector and art deck above anything else. And I think that's really where a lot of the 52 Ravens decks are going to make their mark most of all. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the look at the Conjuring. Fantastic deck. Kirk always does an amazing job with his artwork. And this one is absolutely no exception. So excited to get the chance to check this one out. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe for more deck reviews and unboxings. Let me know what else you want to see, and I'll see you for the next one.